And today's meditation is going to be about sitting in presence, sitting in the present moment, sitting in awareness, where we do not have to engage or even be remotely involved with the involuntary running commentary of the thoughts. So when we come to sit in meditation, we are really just allowing the space and time and physical location to be in presence in a mindful way. This is how we can practice and allow ourselves to drop into presence in a mindful way. And mindful is a difficult word because it makes us feel that our mind is full. And mindless, sometimes suggests we are doing something stupid. Mindless versus mindful. But the opposite is true of both. So we don't want to have a full mind. We want to be mindful, and that is just another word for being aware, for being conscious, for being present. It doesn't mean you need to have your mind full. Now, when we are new to meditation, it seems like a hell of an effort. Because we are so identified with the ego, with who we are in our identity in the world, with our story, our past, our history. Full of thoughts of the people who hurt us or didn't really do what we wanted them to do. The situations that worked out, the situations that didn't work out. The situations that might not work out. So we get caught in a loop of repetitive or even habitual thoughts and behaviors. And they can drive us crazy. They can become so repetitive that they are running on a loop and they can drive us crazy. It can be negative or dark, just full of fear and anxiety. Or sometimes they can be, almost self-perpetuating. So we take an attitude immediately of admonishing ourselves, or criticizing or reproaching ourselves and others, judging, reproaching. It's funny, you can have, is it 70,000 thoughts a day? Something like that. Or maybe it's less. That number comes to my head. How many of those thoughts are good ones? We can fill our minds with negativity and nonsense and fantastical thoughts every single second of the day. How many of those thoughts are useful or kind or filled with gratitude or actually help us or anybody else in our day? How many of those fears and fantasies about what could, might, should happen actually manifest? So you've got a reel going on in your head, a movie reel. And it never comes to the end. So your meditation, your practice of meditation, and it is a practice, But it's not something you do, it's a state of being. And that state is being aware, being conscious, being mindful. That is the state. And we do have things that can help us get there with the concentration. With the concentration helping us to have one-pointed focus, one-pointed concentration, so that we learn to not control our minds. It would be a very difficult thing to control the mind, but that we can master the mind and remind ourselves that the mind doesn't have to master us. That we can master our mind. We can make friends with it. It doesn't have to be something that we fear or are afraid of. You know, we're afraid of all the thoughts sometimes, and we can't unpick them and make sense of them sometimes. We all have this overwhelm on occasion, but some people suffer with it acutely. So the practices that can help us to concentrate, we can come into a seat and we can start to withdraw the senses one by one. We can focus on the breath. We can focus on a visual object like a rock, a stone, or a flame, or a flower. We can chant repeatedly a mantra, either in our minds or verbally. We can make an audible chant, we can sing the chant. And we can step into presence. When we are in presence, when we are totally present, the mind can calm down. It can witness thoughts wanting to come back and pop up, and we can gently say, "No, I don't want to deal with you now. I am sitting in presence." Some people need help, guided meditation, which is fine, which we do a little bit on the Monday morning, but the Monday morning session is also about teaching you how you can find your own path with meditation and bring it into your everyday actions. That's not to say we take an attitude of, "Oh, I am walking to the car now, I am present, I'm walking to the car," or "I'm cooking the supper, I'm cooking the supper, I'm cooking the supper." You know, this is another repetitive mind habit. It can be helpful to transition in that way, to become aware of what you're doing. Of course it can. But you have to agree with yourself that you're going to renounce and let go of the stream of the film rule, you know, film reel I call it, yeah, film reel. The story. Because beneath and beyond your story, you are shining in the true light of consciousness. This is what we really are. When you look back over your life and you see all the things you did, the people you knew, the achievements, the disappointments, the failures, the successes, all of those things that seemed so important at the time. They were so integral to the story you told yourself and the story you told the world. But you were always the same underneath, and you're always the same now. You may have changed outward attitudes, opinions, behavior, habits for the better or worse. You may have lost and found. You may have created and given away. But that consciousness, that thing, that pure awareness that makes us human is still there. It's still there since you took your first breath. Some might say even before. Who knows? Now, in pursuit of this, some spiritual people throughout the world, even now, to a lesser degree, but still, large communities of monks and rishis and priests and people who give themselves up, they renounce their lives. They renounce their identity in the real world, if you like, or the so-called normal world, which does not seem that normal these days. They renounce maybe their family, as the Buddha did. They renounce their livelihood, their jobs, their loved ones, their friends, their belongings, their possessions. They renounce everything that keeps them attached to that egoic world. They give it up. Even maybe the name they were given, they will take on a spiritual name and become known in that spiritual name. And that's fine. That's one way of doing your spiritual dharma. Most of us cannot go to those extremes. Maybe we don't even need to. Who am I to judge? But if the continual loop of thoughts, and if you haven't detached with love from that habit, is still there, then you actually haven't let go. So also drop the thought of how can I get rid of the thoughts. That's also a thought that's going to drive you nuts. Don't give yourself something else to do. Just regular practice where you sit or you even lie down, if that's what you need to do, and you practice coming into that particular present moment. So let's use some of the tools in the meditation toolbox now. Change your position for a little while if you need to. Stretch your legs. Stretch your legs, maybe rub them and come back into your seated position. Good. Sitting nice and tall. And close your eyes if you like to. You don't have to, but I'm going to close mine. A few nice breaths in and out to the nostrils. Feel the spaciousness and aliveness in your body. The body can be relaxed and open and alert without it being tense. Notice how your breath comes in through the nostrils in a cool, smooth way, and also leaves the body, but in a warmer way. It warms up in the body. So you're breathing in cool air, breathing out, but it's still smooth, it still just slips in and out. And this is what you are noticing. Notice the softness of the front body. Abdomen rising and falling with the diaphragm. The ribs may be expanding, but you don't have to push it. Notice your back, long, strong back. Shoulders are softly down, face is gentle. Strong back, soft front. Coming inside your own head, inside your mind with your third eye. Looking inside. Allowing the thoughts to pass like clouds in the sky. Be gentle with them, be gentle with yourself. Don't approach yourself if they come thick and fast. Just allow them to float. Float on by. Still the breath is even and slow, deep rhythmic breathing. In and out through the nostrils. Take your attention now to your hands. Maybe the palms are facing down on the thighs, maybe the hands are linked in a yoga mudra. Just notice the aliveness in your hands. Notice that you are present, your hands are present, you know they are there. Still the breath is smooth and even, coming in and out of the body. Energy rises up with the inhale and just releases with the exhale. Rising up to your higher consciousness and just releasing on the exhale. Always looking for your higher power, not your low animalistic brain, your reptilian brain, reaching for consciousness. Not dullness or ignorance or lethargy or laziness, actually completely filling your space with your presence. Taking your attention now to your feet, the toes, the ankles, the instep, the sole, the whole of the feet. Notice how alive they feel, the tingling, the sensations when you bring the mind, the focus to just your feet. Up your shins now, your knee joint, to your thighs, just noticing everything about them, how they feel. If there's tension there, if there's pain there, or is it just discomfort? Do you need to move, or can you sit in silence in presence without moving? That's your choice. To your root chakra, we're going to do a few rounds now of breathing in through the root and bringing the energy up the spine towards the Agnya chakra, the third eye, and as we breathe out, it's going to come from the third eye all the way down. So the point of the third eye is between the brow. So breathing in from the Muladhara all the way up, and breathing out all the way down. Notice the energy's path. Follow the path completely with your mind. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice straight back. Breathing in up to the Agnya chakra, the third eye. And out. When you're up in the third eye, you can cast the eyes upwards towards the mid-brow. Soften your shoulders and your face. Don't tense. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. Follow the path of the breath along every single energetic step. Breathe in. And out. Last time in this way, breathe in. And out. Let go of the rhythmic breath practice and just notice the breath now. We're just going to sit in presence. If it suits you to focus, root to third eye with your head, with your brain, with your mind, do so. If the mind wanders, bring it back either to the breath or to the practice of root to third eye. And simply sitting in presence together. Gently guide your mind back to the breath or to the root, to throat chakra breath. Knowing that you can come to this state of presence at any time in your day. You don't even have to sit in meditation. That can be a practice, that can be a very good practice, very beneficial practice. But you can take it into your day. very helpful if you have something challenging to do, a challenging conversation to have, to try and remain present and conscious, because other people pick up on this energy and calm down. When you become present, those around you tend to become more present. So bring this consciousness, this pure awareness, this being aware, staying alert, relaxed but aware, into your everyday life if you can. Start small. You can start by organizing a regular meditation practice, maybe even 10-15 minutes a day. Just to remind yourself of the benefits and remind yourself of the toolkit you have at your disposal. Some people meditate in the morning to set the tone and intention for the day. Some people in the evening before sleep, so the mind is clear to sleep deeply and soundly. Some twice a day, It doesn't have to become a burden, replacing a bad habit with a good habit. Replacing a bad habit with a good habit. Always a good idea. Just take a few more minutes. You can open your eyes or keep them closed. Sometimes it can be helpful to meditate on a decision you need to make. Or on a problem that you have. This is different to obsessive thinking. This is maybe just taking time out to sit and consider and not just look at your perspective for the decision if it has to affect other people and involve other people. So looking at yourself, your own perspective, but also meditating on the perspective of others. And meditating perhaps on how something that you perceive as a negative thing, which may have been your subjective experience, it may have been negative, but seeing if you can actually see any positive in it, any lessons that were learned, any ideas that came from it, or new points of view, so that you don't shelve away deep in the back of your consciousness resentments or anger for that particular event, action or person, so that you can reconcile if necessary, so that you can make amends if required, if appropriate. So you can let go of the burden. So you don't hold on to the despair. These things can be sometimes recognized in meditation in a mindful way, or maybe even through journaling. That can be so helpful. Getting things out of your head onto paper It's another way of helping you reduce these thoughts that have been on a loop. Maybe they've been on a loop for like 10 years, 20, 30, or maybe it's only 10 minutes. I meditate sometimes on my own inventory, writing down where I feel I have been responsible, taking a responsibility for something that went wrong, or being accountable. So that we don't also get hooked up in a mindset that outwardly holds everyone and everything responsible for our happiness. Because it just ain't the case. If you want to be happy, do happy things. If you want to be healthy, do healthy things. This was one of the things that Swamiji Gitananda, the wonderful yoga master, Maharishi Giri Swamiji Gitananda from the Gitananda Ashram in Pondicherry. I'm so lucky that I have contact with his son, Dr. Ananda, and I'm a student of theirs. What a profound thing to say. If you want to be happy, do happy things. If you want to be healthy, do healthy things. How many of us want to be healthy and we don't do the healthy things? We don't do it. Be happy, be healthy. The meditation can help with that. Creating space. It's not about sitting up and being stern and, I'm in meditation, I'm going to be okay. No. It's a state of being. But you do need to take the steps to get there, and it's a discipline and it's a practice. Can never perfect a practice. So another thing of Swami Gitananda, do your best and leave the rest. Again, very profound. Do your best, as long as it is your best and you're not pretending it's your best. And leave the rest. Wonderful mantra for life. Means you let go of the nonsense and you feel happy about letting go of the nonsense. You're not hooked in. So a couple of nice big breaths to come to the end of our session. I just want to read a little affirmation before we go. Breathing in through your nostrils. And out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Gently come to. Blink your eyes open, gently coming into the light. Just checking how you feel. Maybe you need to stretch up your legs. I do. Yeah, sitting cross-legged for me can be a challenge, but I practice. Much more comfortable now than it was like 6 years ago. So I'm just going to read something. My family, I have, but I suppose, about 3 or 4 people who have been affected by alcoholism in my life, during my life. And thankfully, at least one of them found recovery and attends 12 steps. And it's a beautiful, beautiful program, 12 steps, because it can be applied to any issue of life. It's a great blueprint. If you've never read what the 12 steps are, look them up. They're interesting, and they are very much in line with Patanjali's sutras, which are the sort of codifying of yoga from thousands of years by a brilliant sort of man called Patanjali. And I find the correlation staggering. It's brilliant. And I'm a child of alcoholism, so I like to read daily meditations around codependency, because when you are in an alcoholic family, you quite often take on the responsibility of the adults, which sadly leads you to behave codependently, and that can last a lifetime. It certainly lasted a long time in my life, and I'm in recovery from codependency now. I won't go into codependency. This is the yoga meditation class, but it's an interesting field. So this is relevant actually. This is about owning your own power and letting go. And I'll read the letting go one, I think. So letting go. We were just talking about letting go in meditation, yeah? Even the little mantra from Dr. Swami Gitananda saying, you know, do your best and leave the rest. That's letting go. That's letting go. And we struggle with it. We cling on to things. We hold on. So stop trying so hard to control things. It is not our job to control people, outcomes, circumstances, or life. Maybe in the past we couldn't trust and let things happen, but now we can. The way life is unfolding is good. Let it fold. Let it unfold. Let it unfold. Stop trying so hard to do better, be more. Who we are and the way we do things is good enough for today. Who we were and the way we did things yesterday was good enough for that day. So ease up, let go, stop trying so hard. So the actual affirmation for today is, today I will let go. I will try to stop controlling everything, manipulating outcomes, placating and diffusing. I will stop trying to make myself be and do better. And I will let myself be. I will let myself be. So that's quite nice. I like these things. If anyone's interested in the books I read and all that stuff, just send me a message and I can send you things on that. Okay, so that's our meditation for today. If you feel you need to lie down and take a rest in Shavasana for a few minutes, that's fine. You do your thing. I have got an appointment, so I need to leave you, love you and leave you. So thank you very much. Namaste. Namaste. I really hope you enjoy your day and you enjoyed your meditation.